वदसि केशव। न हि ते भगवन् व्यक्तिं विदुर्देवा न दानवाः। स्वयमेवात्मनात्मानं वेत्थत्वं पुरुषोत्तम। भूतभावन भूतेश देवदेव जगत्पते। वक्तुमर्हस्य शेषेण दिव्या ह्यात्मविभूतयः। याभिर्विभूतिभिर्स्वं व्याप्य तिष्ठसि। कथं विद्यामहं योगिं स्वां सदा परिचिन्तयन्। केषु केषु च भावेषु चिन्त्योऽसि भगवन्मया। विस्तरेणात्मनो योगं विभूतिं च जनार्दन। भूयः कथय तृप्तिर्हि शृण्वतो नास्ति मे मृतम्। श्रीभगवानुवाच हन्त ते कथयिष्यामि दिव्या ह्यात्मविभूतयः। प्राधान्यतः कुरु श्रेष्ठ नास्त्यन्तो विस्तरस्य मे। अहमात्मा गुडाकेश सर्वभूताशयस्थितः। अहमादिश्च मध्यं च भूतानामन्त एव च। आदित्यानामहं विष्णुर्ज्योतिषां रविरंशुमान्। मरीचिर्मरुतामस्मि नक्षत्राणामहं शशी। वेदानां सामवेदोऽस्मि देवानामस्मि वासवः। इन्द्रियाणां मनश्चास्मि भूतानामस्मि चेतना। रुद्राणां शङ्करश्चास्मि वित्तेशो यक्षरक्षसाम्। वसूनां पावकश्चास्मि मेरुः शिखरिणामहम्। पुरोधसां च मुख्यं मां विद्धि पार्थ बृहस्पतिम्। सेनानीनामहं स्कन्दः सरसामस्मि सागरः। महर्षीणां भृगुरहं गिरामस्म्येकमक्षरम्। यज्ञानां जपयज्ञोऽस्मि स्थावराणां हिमालयः। अश्वत्थः सर्ववृक्षाणां देवर्षीणां च नारदः। गन्धर्वाणां चित्ररथः सिद्धानां कपिलो मुनिः। उच्चैः श्रवसमश्वानां विद्धि माममृतोद्भवम्। ऐरावतं गजेन्द्राणां नराणां च नराधिपम्। आयुधानामहं वज्रं धेनूनामस्मि कामधुक्। प्रजनश्चास्मि कन्दर्पः सर्पाणामस्मि वासुकिः। अनन्तश्चास्मि नागानां वरुणो यादसामहम्। पितॄणामर्यमा चास्मि यमः संयमतामहम्। प्रह्लादश्चास्मि दैत्यानां कालः कलयतामहम्। मृगाणां च मृगेन्द्रोऽहं वैनतेयश्च पक्षिणाम्। पवनः पवतामस्मि रामः शस्त्रभृतामहम्। झषाणां मकरश्चास्मि स्रोतसामस्मि जाह्नवी। सर्गाणामादिरन्तश्च मध्यं चैवाहमर्जुन। अध्यात्मविद्या विद्यानां वादः प्रवदतामहम्। अक्षराणामकारोऽस्मि द्वन्द्वः सामासिकस्य च। अहमेवाक्षयः कालो धाताहं विश्वतो मुखः। मृत्युः सर्वहरश्चाहमुद्भवश्च भविष्यताम्। कीर्तिः श्रीर्वाक्च नारीणां स्मृतिर्मेधा धृतिः क्षमा। बृहत्साम तथा साम्नां गायत्री छन्दसामहम्। मासानां मार्गशीर्षोऽहं ऋतूनां कुसुमाकरः। द्यूतं छलयतामस्मि तेजस्तेजस्विनामहम्। जयोऽस्मि व्यवसायोऽस्मि सत्त्वं सत्त्ववतामहम्। वृष्णीनां वासुदेवोऽस्मि पाण्डवानां धनञ्जयः। मुनीनामप्यहं व्यासः कवीनामुशना कविः दण्डोदमयतामस्मि रीतिरस्मि जिगीषताम् मौनं चैवास्मि गुह्यानां ज्ञानं ज्ञानवतामहम् यच्चापि सर्वभूतानां बीजं तदहमर्जुन न तदस्ति विना यत्स्यान्मया भूतं चराचरम् नातोऽस्ति मम दिव्यानां विभूतीनां परन्तप एष तूद्देशतः प्रोक्तो विभूतेर्विस्तरो मया यद्यद्विभूतिमत्सत्त्वं श्रीमदूर्जितमेव वा तत्तदेवावगच्छत्वं मम तेजोंशसम्भवम् अथवा बहुनैतेन किं ज्ञातेन तवार्जुन विष्टभ्याहमिदं कृत्स्नम् एकांशेन स्थितो जगत् ॐ तत्सदिति श्रीमद्भगवद्गीतासु उपनिषत्सु ब्रह्मविद्यायां योगशास्त्रे श्रीकृष्णार्जुनसंवादे विभूतियोगो नाम दशमोऽध्यायः।
Sorry, is it on? The text visible? Yes, 12th chapter here. But we'll start before, just before that. We'll start with our prayers. Sri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Sri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Saviryam Karvavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om. Asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amritam gamaya aviravirmayidhi. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om. Parthaya प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम् sorry. May we be nourished, may we be may we be protected, may we be nourished, may we strive with energy and vigor. May our study be enlightening and not give rise to hostility. Om peace, peace, peace. Lead us to truth and not to untruth. Lead us to enlightenment and not ignorance. Lead us to immortality and not death. Let the self-manifest Atman grow in me. Om peace, peace, peace. Om, O Bhagavad Gita, with which Partha was enlightened by the Lord Narayana himself, and which was incorporated in the Mahabharata by the ancient sage Vyasa. The Blessed Mother, the destroyer of rebirth, showering down the nectar of Advaita and consisting of 18 chapters upon thee, O Bhagavad Gita, O loving Mother, I meditate. So this is very important study of Bhagavad Gita. So now when this teaching was given, there was only one audience present. That is Arjuna. But another audience, that means a great soul, Sanjaya, by his yogic power, he also heard, and he conveyed that to Dhritarashtra. So, because of him, we have received this. Of course, the whole thing was conceived by Vyasa, Maharshi Vyasa. It's a great teaching. Only thing we need to put our attention. Though it is very oft quoted and very oft discussed, but we need to cultivate. One should not think that it is not that important. See, every day we eat. So one may think it is every day we eat, so why should we eat? But we cannot stop eating. Similarly, these thoughts are very important for our own upliftment, for our own lifting to divinity, divinizing oneself. So here, the question was asked by Arjuna, that we go to that, but before that, we'll read the previous shloka because it has connection. You know, this kind of conversation is called vada. That means whatever is said, whatever student says, whatever teacher says, student can ask a question on it. So this is a continuous. It's not that vitanda. Vitanda means heated arguments. And then comes like fisticuff, etc. We can see in parliament nowadays. But anyway, so this is the ultimate shloka of Vishwarupa Darshan. Sri Krishna showed his multifarious form, the universal form, in so many hues and colors. Pashyame partha rupani shatashota sahasrasha, he said see my hundreds and millions and billions of forms in various colors. And he showed to Arjuna what it is like. One has to understand from, it's not like eyes that we see the objects. We have limited power of seeing. This is our limited power. We see only a certain vibration of light. Within that, whatever is visible. But it is something is beyond, and also ultraviolet and infrared. As we know, that there are so many things. And that also what we see in our waking state. In our dreaming, sleeping, and deep sleep, we don't see. We see something, we experience something else. So our perception is very limited. Within that limited perception, we cannot see that divine form. That is why God gave Arjuna divine eyes. Divyam dadami te chakshuhu. So he gave divine eyes to see. To see that form, we need to cultivate that divine eyes. So after that, and he saw various forms. After that he said that this is my nature, but how to attain me? Because if only I show my multifarious form and I say that it is not available by karma, na karmana, na prajaya, na dhanena, all this cannot attain me. What is that which can attain me? So he said, he who does work for me alone and has me for his goal is devoted to me, is freed from attachment. Now we have problem of attachment. We are attached with this world so much that even the highest goal is given to us, we are not happy to get that. You see, like nowadays they are trying to figure out how to even remove the head and transplant. So now new things are coming. Like before this, they have transplanted heart or various organs. Now they are thinking to, even the experiment is going on. It will be in a donor and recipient. So it will, both operation will be done very quickly and urgently and simultaneously. And then it will be transplanted. Why? We want to live in this body. We have so much infatuation with this. Though at the same time, every day we get rid of it. Every day. Every day we go to sleep, that time we get rid of all this identity. But somehow or other we are so infatuated that we want to make this living eternally. So, so our problem is attachment. So how to get rid of that attachment is that one should work for me. Me means here Sri Krishna or God. Me alone, not in other things. So thinking and all kind of mat karma krit, mat paramo. I am the supreme being, and me for his goal is devoted to me, is freed from attachment, and bears enmity towards no creature. No, he entereth unto me. So not only that, nirvaira mameti, and previously he said pravishtum cha dhananjaya. So he even will enter into me. Not only we need to know God, but we need to enter into him. one should not be satisfied only, I worship God. Rather, we have that DNA to achieve that divinity. So why not we should try to achieve that. So this is Bhagavan here indicates that sa mameti, he attains me. How? Because then he sees yomam pashyati sarvatram, sarvam chamai pashyati. He sees me everywhere. And in everything it is me. So there is no difference at that moment. So he says this. Now comes, Arjuna asks a question. So it may not be, apparently it may not be very, say, high on that pedestal, but this is our ordinary mind that we want to compare things. We want to compare things. Which one is better? Like when we go for shopping, so we see what is better. It is always our endeavor to find better things and cheaper also. Both the way. So we don't want to do anything. So here, to attain God, so one should strive for it. So naturally, Arjuna will try to find out what is the easiest way and what is better way. Easiest and better. So Arjuna said, Evam satata yukta ye bhaktas tvam paryupasati. That you said just now, that mat karma krit mat paramo, like who does my work, like Hanuman. Hanuman dedicated himself for the work of Rama Karya. Here also Arjuna was saying no, but ultimately he has to submit for the work of Sri Krishna. That means to establish dharma. So he says, Evam satata yukta. Satata yukta means all the time engaged. Satata yukta. Ever steadfast. Ye bhaktas tvam paryupasate. Ye chapyaksharam abhyaktam. And some are abhyakta. Abhyakta means, let me go ahead with the translation. Arjuna says, those devotees who ever steadfast, thus worship thee. That means he does your work, he thinks about you, that you are the supreme, and he dedicates himself to you only. So one is that. Ye chapyaksharam abhyaktam. Akshara means what is not that is perishable. What is not perishable? Imperishable. And unmanifest. Abhyakta. So Bhyakta, B and Anje. That means whatever taints. So when we see, our senses are tainted with some impressions. Abhyakta means which we cannot perceive through our senses. We cannot experience through our senses. So that's abhyaktam. That means it is not manifested. Unmanifested to our senses. So some people worship that. So how they do? They remove all the desires from their mind. Takta sarveshana. And then sannyasya sarva karmani. And they don't do any work. They totally dedicate and totally merge in God. As second chapter, if you remember, there Bhagavan said that, and later also, manmana bhava madbhakta madhyaji mam namaskuru. So there in second chapter he said that atmanneva atmana atushta sthita prajna saduchyate. That who is enjoying within himself, in the self within himself. Atmana Atmani Tushtaha Sthita Prajna Saduchyate. He is the steadfast person who is totally poised in me, and he meditates on me, and he is merged in me. So one is that one. So when one cannot see the objects of senses, then what is there? It is the self. So when you go to deep sleep, what is there? You don't see any objects. But in the morning you say, oh, I slept so very well that I did not know anything. That means you experience something which is not the object. Those are that is not thing. Rather, you yourself, in deep sleep, you experience yourself, no other things. So this is abhyakta. When one is devoid of all the objects and he is totally poised in the self, he is steadfast. That is, Bhagavan said in the second chapter. Now Arjuna is asking, sir, please tell me, which one is better? So, those devotees who ever fast, steadfast, thus worship thee. That means he works for me, he thinks about me, and he is like here, whatever he said, that mat karma krit, mat paramo, mat bhaktaha, and he is devoted to me. Sangha varjita is beyond attachment. So, these two, who is better? Those devotees who ever steadfast, thus worship thee, and those also who worship the imperishable and unmanifested. Which of them are better first in yoga? This is the question. Because why this is a question? This is Upanishad. Upanishad says that which is drishya. It cannot be seen, it cannot be felt, it cannot be experienced. Because whatever you experience, those are objects. But the person who experiences, what is that? The other day I told the story that Ramana Maharshi used to tell. Find out who is this I, who are you? Find out this. So it is difficult, find out where to find. Especially when it is so close we don't see. So sir, somebody said, sir, it's very difficult. Can I worship God with form? He said, yes, why not? With qualities? Yes. As Vishnu, Narayan? Yes. What will happen then? You'll go to Vishnu Loka? Oh, I see. Vishnu Loka. Then what will happen? Will God talk to me? Yes, he'll talk to me. He'll talk to you. And then what will he talk with me? He will talk, find out who you are. So this is similar here, that ultimately we have to find who is the experiencer, who is that, who is in everything, and everything is him. So that we have to find out. So anyway, so this is the question. So abhyaktam, say like there, tadvai tadaksharam gargi brahmana abhivadanti asthulam ananu ahrashva dirgha. All negative. Because you are that. every one self is that. It is not wide, it is not short, it is not dirgha and ahrashva, ananu. It is the self which cannot be explained by any adjunct, any adjectives. It is the self who is abiding all the time. So one is that, and one is yes, worship to me. But this question is always or most of the time taken to compare. No, devotion is better. Eh? So this is, I was born in a Vaishnava family. So they are, if you go to any Vaishnava, they always will tell this. Now what is better? Bhakti is better. And we all see, yes, bhakti is good. Bhakti is better. We have no problem with any isms. So they compare that, jnana is not that good. Bhakti is better. You can taste. There, jnana, there is no taste. What to taste? So, Sri Ramakrishna, singing mother's name and enjoying, and then he goes to samadhi. So when atmana tushta sthita prajna taduchyate, he is totally poised in him. So we have to see this. But what happens? Devotees want to enjoy. That's fine. That's very good. So Bhagavan tells now, he has to save the faces, both the faces, Jnani and Bhakta. Okay. So he replies in a very nice way. Sri Bhagavan says, Bhagavan Uvach, blessed Lord said, those who fixing their mind on me, worship me, ever steadfast and endowed with supreme Shraddha, they, in my opinion, are the best versed in yoga. Now find out Maya Vishya Manayam, whose mind is totally surcharged with me. Maya Vishya. Mano Yemam. Mind is totally soaked, totally, flooded with me. Maya Vishya Mano Yemam. Nitya Yukta Upasate. And all the time he is worshipping me. And Shraddhaya Parayapita, supreme Shraddha. Not only Shraddha means one-pointed devotion, one-pointed, totally dedicated devotion. Shraddhaya Parayopeta. Teme Yukta Tamavata. So now you compare what it is. Those who fixing their mind on me, worship me ever steadfast and endowed with supreme Shraddha. Supreme Shraddha. Not only small Shraddha. They, in my opinion, are the best versed in yoga. Now, Bhagavan, before that he said, Samoham sarva bhuteshu name deshosti na priya. He said, all are my dear. Because it's me who is everywhere. It is me. Like, if you have, say, you have painted a painting, and maybe you have painted 1,000 paintings. All are good for you. You cannot say, oh, this is bad. In your mind that you can compare, that's a different issue. But think of that. Even, say, a father. For father or mother, all the children are good. So, Bhagavan says, Maya Vishya Mano Yemam Nityukta. So, Samoham Sarva Bhuteshu Name Deshasti Na Priya. Say in father or mother, maybe some variation will be there. But God alone exists. How he can segregate and separate and hate? For everyone is his children. So, Samoham Sarvabhuteshu Name Dashyasti Na Priya. Nobody is dear to me, and nobody is hated by me. Bhagavan said earlier. Then Bhagavan said, Ye ye bhajanti tumam bhaktya mai te teshu chapya. But whosoever worship me closely, that means he is in me and I am also in him. If suppose somebody's son always takes care of his father or mother, so naturally your feeling also will be there. So Bhagavan said it's not that I invest in them. Whatever people invest, similarly they will also be uplifted. Ye bhajanti tumam bhaktya mai te, I am in them, and teshu chapyam. Bhagavan said already. But still Arjuna wanted to know this. So Bhagavan very nicely said this one. And over and above that he said, Yo yo yam yam bhakta shraddhya architum ichchati. Somebody wants to worship, say, Krishna or some Vishnu and some Kali, some Jesus, some Buddha, and all kinds of, you will find all worships are there. So whatever a devotee wants, I supply with that. I give them Shraddha there. It's not that, that I am hateful to someone. Whatever way one want to proceed, there are so many ways to go to downtown. So whatever way somebody prefers, that's good for him. So he says, Yo yo ye bhajanti tumam bhaktya nitya yukta upasati. So whoever worships me, joining himself with me, so I am in him and he is in me. So it is not me, rather a devotee, the way he worships me, he attains me similarly. And then he said, Yo yo yam yam tanum bhakta shraddhya architum ichchati tasya tasya achalam shraddham tameva vidadhamyam. I give him total dedication, one-pointed devotion to that person, to that deity. And later also he said, Ye tamam prapaddante tangs tataiva vajamyam. As one worships me, I worship him. Ye yathamam prapaddante tangs tataiva vajamyam. So Bhagavan said all this. But Arjuna asked this question, so he said, okay, very good, I am answering you. In Gospel also you can find, Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. He said, one should have total dedication, etc. But, if you cannot do, okay, you do something. At least remember God. Say, Girish Chandra Ghosh, he was initiated and then he said, what to do? He said, meditate in the morning and meditate in the evening. But he was not committed, he would miss. And he was a person not to be commanded. Always, if you command something, he'll do against it. Vidyasagar, like Vidyasagar, when he was young. So, if you say, don't take bath today, he'll take immediately. So his parents would tell, they could understand, whatever you say, he'll do the opposite. So they would say in a negative way, that no, it's today very cold, so don't take bath. And he'll go and take bath. So Girish also was like that. So Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna said, okay, worship in the morning and in the evening. Then Sri Ramakrishna was waiting. Then he said, I go to theater, how can I do that? Okay, you cannot do, okay, fine. Just do 2 namaskar in the morning and in the evening. So he was again waiting. He said, when morning happens, I don't know. And I come dead in the night, and sometimes I wake up later in the day. Even I don't know when morning happens and evening. Okay. Ultimately, like he was bargaining. So ultimately he said, "Oh, I cannot do anything." I mean, he say like that was his motion. So he said, "Okay, then you give me your mm, say power of attorney, power of attorney." So he thought it is best. But what happened after that? Giving the power of attorney, whatever he wanted to do, he always would think what Sri Ramakrishna wanted. And his son died, his wife died, and all the time he thought, oh, maybe it is the wish of God. And that way he had to forbear. So what is the point? So Sri Krishna also says, okay, this is I I love all, but if you want to ask who is better, I'm telling you. Those who fixing their mind on me, worship me ever steadfast, and endowed with supreme Shraddha, they, in my opinion, are the best versed in yoga. Now he explains that. Ye tu aksharam anirdeshyam abhyaktam paripasate. I go to the translation because I don't want to burden with Sanskrit. But those also who worship the imperishable, the indefinable, the unmanifested, the omnipresent, the unthinkable, the unchangeable, the immovable, the eternal, having subdued all the senses, even minded, everywhere engaged in the welfare of all beings, verily they reach myself, only myself. So already Sri Krishna said that they will attain me. There is no doubt about it. Bhagavan said, if I remember, Chaturvidha bhajante mam jana sukriti narjuna. 4 kinds of people worship me. Who are they? Artha. Artha means when someone is in difficulty, then, oh God, please save me. I have this disease, please save me. Or I am losing my lawsuit, please save me. Or I have family, I am not getting with my husband or wife, please help me. Even I don't get a parking, please help me. So Artha. Bhagavan listens, Artha, because they are also good. Artha Jigyasu. Jigyasu means, yes, enormous questions, thousands of questions. What is this world? Why it is happening like this? Why this, say, like morning, evening, and day, and all kinds of questions? And what are these stars and galaxies and all this? Why it is happening like this? All kinds of questions. A scientist. Arth, Jigyasu, Artharthi. Artharthi, oh God, please save me this time, I'll offer this. So whatever, to bargain with God. So God is like a means to attain the goal. Artha Jigyasu Artharthi. Jnani cha bhartarshava. And Jnani means who is totally in the self. He has realized the self. So he is also a kind of relationship that's of devotion. So these are 4 kinds of people, those who worship me. Tesham yani nitya yukta ek bhaktir vishishyate. All these 4, the best is the jnani. Why? Because he has no other business, no other affinities, no other attachment. He's totally in me, and he's totally absorbed and dedicated to me. So, tesham yani nitya yukta eka bhaktir vishishyate. Yani no ityartha, so like He is my heart, is my soul. He has already said. So there is no scope of this question, but still we want to have a shortcut, so fine. So, and why it is so? Because we have lots of doubts. It comes, and whatever easiest way we want to follow that. So it is because of Maya. Mayam tu prakritim vidya, mayinam tu maheshwara. That who is possessor of Maya is Mayi. That means he is the supreme being, Maheshwara. So, Yani tu atmaiva me matam. Yani is my self. So, this is what he said. So here, what he says, that the Jnani will attain, what is attained already. Those who worship the imperishable, the infinable, indefinable, unmanifested, the omnipresent, the unthinkable, because this is not outside, it's all within. You cannot think of yourself. Whatever you think, it is not you. It either it is regarding your body or mind or relationship or so many other things. And you cannot, it is not definable, it is not manifested, it is the basis of everything. Say like this, a space. You define space? You cannot define. Okay, find a point. Define a point. Point is that which has no dimension. Is it possible? It's only in theory. So, you are that center. What is that center? You yourself. It's not definable. It is imperishable. You are not destructed in any way. It is the self on which everything circles and circles. Everything revolves around it. Therefore, it is imperishable, indefinable, omnipresent. The center is everywhere, and everything is merged in the center. Say like Big Bang. We can think about Big Bang outside, but Big Bang happens here. So eternal, having subdued all the senses, even minded, everywhere, engaged in the welfare of all beings, verily they reach only myself. What is? Why? Because it is already they have reached. So, as of now, we have this feeling that I am body, I am mind. So this is not for us. So those who have, it is not comparable. They have already reached. Then what for us? Okay, for them, klesho adhikatarastesham abhyakta asakta chetasam abhyakta hi gatir dukkham dehavadhir abapyate. Greater is their trouble, whose minds are set on the unmanifested. So that means who has that separate identity? I am separate. For him, it is difficult to join his mind because it is beyond senses. Beyond mind, how can mind be attached with it? Greater is their trouble, whose minds are set on the unmanifested. So if the idea of separation is there, so it is difficult. Therefore, what is the best way that God will tell? For the goal of the unmanifested is very hard for the embodied to reach. Why? Because if it is not definable, how are to reach? If we are to reach, say, downtown or say Washington DC, we know where to reach. Maybe Everest. If we know the goal, say America set the goal that we'll reach the moon, and they reached. So you have to set the goal first. But that goal is, if the goal is not definable, then how can you reach? So greater is their trouble whose minds are set on the unmanifested. For the goal of the unmanifested is very hard for the embodied to reach. So embodied, mind it. Those who have idea of that I am a body, I am a mind, such a people, those who are engrossed in this physical body-mind complex, for them it's difficult. So Sri Ramakrishna would go to Samadhi at a notice of a moment, because he's not embodied like us. His embodied appearance is for ajnanis, those who do not know. But he is beyond body. Arupa Shayare Leela Lahari. So there is infinite ocean, and because of his compassion, a wave came, and that took a form of Sri Ramakrishna, or for that matter, all the incarnations. So apparently they are embodied from our viewpoint, but from their viewpoint they are not embodied. See, body also keeps on changing. So what body? Even we think that we are embodied. Tell me which body you have. All the time it is changing. The moment, kshanikam, sarvam kshanikam. See, it's like flow. Light, we think that it's a continuous light. No, it's a flow, continuous flow. We think it is the same river, same Columbia River. No. The moment that you see, next moment it's not the same river. So this is a flow, but we have that wrong idea. Similarly, we also have this wrong idea that we are bodies. Body is changing all the time. So those who are embodied, still they think that I am embodied. Okay, for them, this is not, the other one is not good, rather, then he'll say. So greater is their trouble whose minds are set on unmanifested. For the goal of the unmanifested is very hard for the embodied to reach. Now, ye tu sarvani karmani mai sanyasya. That means all the karma, sarvani karmani, all the activities, mai sanyasya, dedicating to me, mat parah, and totally absorbed in me. Ananyaneva yogena mam dhyayantu upasate. And he worships me, dedicating everything. Okay, I'll take the translation. But those who worship me, resigning all actions in me, regarding me as a supreme goal, meditating on me with single-minded yoga. To these whose mind is set on me, verily I become there long. I become year long. Oh, before long. I become year long. Okay. O son of Pritha, the savior out of the ocean of the mortal samsara. So I am the savior. So I become the savior. Yetu sarvani karmani mai sanyasya matpara. So those who dedicate all their actions, activities to me, and they are totally dedicated to me. Ananyaneva yogena mam dhyayantu upasate. They worship me without any other deviation. Tesamaham samuddharta. I am their redeemer. From where? Mrityu samsara sagarat. From the death of the ocean of death of this world. Bhavami nachirat partha. Nachirat means immediately. Partha, mayyaveshita chetasam. Those who are surcharged with me. Their mind is there. So Bhagavan said, I am their redeemer. Therefore, what you have to do? Because they are already reached. So don't worry about it. But what you do, because you, those embodied means, Arjuna means, those who feel that I am with body-mind complex, such a person may not be able to think that way. So what to do then? Mayyeva mana adhatsva. That means you fix your mind. Mayi buddhim niveshaya. Engage your intellect, your all, mental activities in me. Niveshashasi mayyeva ata urdham na shamshaya. Then there will be no shamshaya that you will attain me. Fix thy mind on me only. Place thy intellect in me. Then thou shalt no doubt live in me hereafter. Again, this is not a small thing. All the time you have to think of God, all the activities you have to dedicate to Him. So, Sri Ramakrishna also, people would say, in the beginning he's saying, okay, do this, do that also, but one day he'll kutush karke kaam he'll bite, that without tyaga nothing will happen. Then Sri Ramakrishna defended himself. No, why should I bite? So, fix thy mind on me only. Place thy intellect in me. Then thou shalt no doubt live in me hereafter. So, he knows that it's not possible for embodied beings. So, he said, Atha chittam samadhatum nashaknoshi mai sthiram. If you cannot fix your mind on me all the time, okay, try. Abhyasa yogena tato mamichhaptum dhananjaya. He says, if thou art unable to fix thy mind steadily on me, not to worry, then by abhyasa yoga, do thou seek to reach me, O Dhananjaya. Dhananjaya, though you are, you have conquered all resources, Dhananjaya. You can do this. So God, encourages also. So he praising Arjuna, also telling us that you can do it. Try. So here, what is abhyasa? Abhyasa yoga is very important. Abhyasa. Tatra sthito yatnaha abhyasa. That means, whatever object is given, say like music, one tries and fails, tries, again fails, and with repeated trying, one attains. So in the beginning, the music may not be like where the note should be a little less or little more. But with trial and error, then we succeed. So this is tatra sthito yatna abhyasa. Chittasya avrittikasya. That means whatever we do not have the capacity to inculcate, prashant vihita sthiti. That means to say chitta vritti nirodha. Chitta vritti nirodha. The goal is to stop the modification of mind. So many thoughts will come, many thoughts. So what we have to do, we have to take one thought, eka chitta vritti first. Eka chitta vritti means, that's why you meditate, you recite a mantra and meditate on one object, not many. So, ek chitta vritti abhyas. But ultimately that chitta vritti also should go. But it will not go all of a sudden. When one is established in one vritti, then by the will of God or by your higher um, the grace that you will receive, that time it stops. Like in the life of Sri Ramakrishna we can see. When he was singing God's glories and dancing even, gradually what happens? Gradually he gathers the whole attention and he becomes transfixed. So chitta vritti nirodha. So what is that? Is perfected state. For us, we have to try. So every day, morning, evening, we try. So this is what we are doing. So avritikascha prashanta vahita sthitihi tadartha prayatna virya. That means with endeavor, with enthusiasm, one should try. Tat sampadi ishita tat sadhana anushtanam abhyasa. That means to try the same idea over and over again. So Bhagavan says here, Mayyeva mana adhatsya. So try to put your mind to me. Soak your mind with my ideas. Mayyeva mana adhatsya. Mayi buddhim niveshaya. Fix thy mind on me only. Place thy intellect in me. Then thou shalt no doubt live in me hereafter. If you cannot do, then what you do? If thou art unable to fix thy mind steadily on me, then by abhyasa, by try to do it. Abhyasa. Mam, me. So abhyasa yoga, do thou seek to reach me, O Dhananjaya. You are conqueror of all the resources, so you can do this. We also have some achievements in our lives also. We have, say, passed some examination, we have achieved something in this world also. So if that is achievable, then this is also achievable. Now he gives another option. Abhyasapya samarthosi matkarmo paramoho. Because he knows that, whatever he says will fail. So he says, okay, if you cannot do that, even if you cannot try over and over again, then what you do? If also thou art unable to practice that abhyasa, trial and error, be thou intent on doing actions for my sake. That is where service is very important. In our lives, through service we become one. Whatever little, some a lady told me, please engage, children. Even if they take one grass of one grass and put the other place, let them do it. So, very important that mat karmo paramo bhava. My action, my work. If also thou art unable to practice abhyasa, be thou intent on doing actions for my sake. Even by doing actions for my sake, thou shalt attain perfection. So Bhagavan is giving all options, like if you cannot do this, then do this. If you cannot do that, do this. At least do something, then but what happens? Sri Ramakrishna said, okay, I have cooked. Means he did all tapasya for 12 years. I have cooked. Come and eat. But we are not happy to eat. You feed me. So, like that. So Bhagavan is giving all the options. If also thou art unable to practice abhyasa, be thou intent on doing actions for my sake. Even by doing actions for my sake, thou shalt attain perfection. So at least like every day, that's why in the beginning also Bhagavan said, Yat karoshi, whatever you do, Yadashnashi, whatever you eat, Yad whatever you perform, yajna, sacrifice or offering, Tat kurushva. Yat karoshi yadashnashi yad dadasi jat, whatever you donate. Tat kurushva madarpanam. Offer that to me. So we have say started, offering to food once in a month to our homeless brothers and sisters. Actually, it's God who has taken that form. So this way, let us do something. We do something, then only we are connected. So, if also thou art unable to practice abhyasa, be thou intent on doing actions for my sake. Even by doing actions for my sake, thou shalt attain perfection. Maybe in course of time. Now Bhagavan give another option. Athaitadapya saktosi. Kartyum mad yogam asrita. Sarva karma phala tyagam tatha kuru yatatmavan. So he says, okay, if we cannot do that, at least renounce all the fruits of action. If I work, why should not I look for my salary, the remuneration? Don't worry about it. It will come. In course of time, of course it will come. But if you are planning, if you are want to possess before it comes to you, so that will entangle you. That will give suffering. So, Bhagavan says, if thou art unable to do even this, then taking refuge in me, taking shelter at me, abandon the fruit of all action, being self-controlled. So, ultimately has come to the tyaga, the renunciation. Tyage naikam amritattu manasu. So, renunciation. So, again, that's also not that easy. The renunciation of what? Renunciation of ego. But it's very difficult to get rid of this ego. It will come again and again and it will hurt. We are hurt constantly, but still it is difficult to abandon that. Very difficult. So Bhagavan ultimately says, that just closing, then we will repeat it. Shreyo hi jnanam abhyasat. Now he compares, jnana, the knowledge, jnana, abhyas, and also like repeated trial. Shreyo hi jnanam. Jnanam is better, indeed. Shreyaha, better. Jnanat, dhyanam vishishate, and meditation is better. Leaving aside all the distractions, one meditates on God. Better. Dhyanat karma phala tyagam. Even karma phala tyag is better than that. Dhyana. Because what you are doing, you are engaging all the senses, but you are not attached with the fruits thereof. So it is better. Dhyanat karma phala tyagam. Tyagas shantir anantaram. And one will get peace of mind when one renounces everything. So this is up to this is the the gradation that he said, okay, if you cannot do this, you do this. If you cannot do that, do this. And let us do something. So this is very important chapter. Now after that he will enumerate some qualities of devotees. That's very important. Those are also very important. So, thank you very much. Any question? Yes. Oh, okay, good, very good. No, no, it's a good, very good. One is Atmannevatmanatushta Sthita Prajna Taduchyate. One is happy or totally engrossed in me. In me means the self. Okay. So this is one standpoint. Now you said in chapter 9. Maya tatamidam sarvam jagad abhyakt murtina. I have pervaded everything by my unmanifested form. Maya, by me. Tatam idam, idam means here, everything. Jagat abhyakt murtina. Say like, he is pervading here as a space. Can you see that? Okay, now let me say. I am speaking. So before I am speaking, there is silence. After I am finishing speaking, there is silence. I am breaking silence. Can I break silence? No, I cannot break silence. So silence is underlying. It is underlying a like sound. Now think about this. This room. Where is this room? In space. Outside it is a space. Inside also it is a space. Even this room that you see wall, this is also full of spaces. You ask a scientist, they'll say, actually it's all space. Here you are saying nothing is there, but it's so many carbon, oxygen, and carbon dioxide, nitrogen, etc. So many things are there. When you compress it, it becomes solidified, as it were. But actually it is not. All space. Space is underlying here everything. Right? So, Maya tatamidam sarvam jagat avyakt murtina. Even I am subtler than that. Avyakt means unmanifested. Jagat avyakt murtina. Masthani sarvabhutani. All the creatures are in you, in me. But I am not in them. Okay, you dream. You dream? Last night say you dreamt. All the dream figures are in whom? In you. Are you really? Because of you, you dreamt. But they are as if in you. Now show me today. If it is in you, can you show me? So, Maya tatamidam sarvam. In and through the whole dream, it is you. By unmanifested way. Because you are unmanifested, all dream figures came and played and went away. Maya tatamidam sarvam jagad abhyakt murtina masthani. I am the substratum. Sarva bhutani. All the bhutas. Because of me, even I am seeing this world because it is me, the self. All the creation I am seeing. So, matsthani sarvbhutani nachaham te shabhastha. I am not in them. All the dreams are not in you. And you are not in the dream. You are other than dream. Right? Nachamasthani bhutani. Even the bhutas, all the creation is not in me. Now he contradicts. So this is to be meditated. Nachamasthani bhutani pashyame yogam aishwaram. See my divine power. Nachamasthani bhutani pashyami yogavishyam bhuta bhrit. Though I am the sustainer of all bhuta, na bhutastha, I am not in bhutas. So this is the riddle. This is to be solved. Your dream was in you. Because of you, you dreamt. Are the dreams you? Not really, because then you have transformed. Because of you, dream figures came, but you are not the dream. You are beyond dream. So in one way, it is because of you dream happened, but in another way it is no dream, nothing. It's only dream. So that's what. Okay. Okay. So similarly, we all say the self. Because of the self, all that is happening. Self is pervading everything. But what is everything? Everything is like it vanishes in course of time. Say after 10 minutes or 15 minutes, all will be dispersed and the class will be over. 1 hour back, there was, or 2 hours, say 2 hours back, there was no class. So this happens on the substratum. Because of the substratum, everything happens. But substratum is not that what is happening. Only it is a time being. Okay. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hare Om Tatsat. Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I am found. Was blind, but now I see. Lord, by thy grace, by thy infinite grace, give us knowledge, pure knowledge of thee. Lord, by thy grace, by thy infinite grace, give us knowledge, pure knowledge of thee. Feel the presence of the Lord. 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 Lord, by thy grace, by thy infinite grace, give us love, pure love for thee. Lord, by thy grace, by thy infinite grace, give us love, pure love for thee. Hear the calling of the Lord. 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 Lord, by thy grace, by thy infinite grace, give us knowledge, pure knowledge of Thee. Lord, by Thy grace, by Thy infinite grace, give us knowledge, pure knowledge of Thee. See the smile that charmed the world. 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 Lord, by Thy grace, by Thy infinite grace, give us love, pure love for Thee. Lord, by Thy grace, by Thy infinite grace, give us love, pure love for Thee. Feel the presence of the Lord. Hear the calling of the Lord. See the smile that charmed the world. Hold the hand that made it all. Lord, by Thy grace, by Thy infinite grace, give us knowledge, pure knowledge of Thee. Lord, by Thy grace, by Thy infinite grace, give us love, pure love for Thee. Hear the calling of the Lord. Hear the calling of the Lord. Hear the calling of the Lord. Hear the calling of the Lord.
Thank you. We'll continue our classes on Thursdays, Vedanta Sara, Friday, Sri Sharda Devi and her divine play, and Sunday, Srimad Bhagavad Gita and Bhakti Yoga. Thank you very much.